Are you one of those guys that thinks the sonar ping chases them away?
100%. Me and you and Gussie argued over this at the ice show.
You guys are dumbasses for believing that.
Man, I watched it today again.
You just watched a fish swimming away. Welcome to Get the Net, a fishing podcast that takes a deep dive into competitive events, fishing news, tips, tactics, and most importantly, interviews with some of the most interesting and in-tuned anglers from Canada to the central U.S. We're leaving no stone unturned to bring you the most raw and authentic dock talk. My name is Jamie Bruce. While my resume says bass, my frying pan says walleye, and I'm no stranger to the multi-species realm. Whether you're puttering on tackle, driving the bus, cutting the grass, or killing time in a 9 to 5, we'll try to give you something in every episode to take with you on the water, or at the very least, bring you a few laughs. All right, welcome back everyone to Get the Net. I think we're calling this season 3 at this point, so thanks everyone who showed support and tuned in and everything like that kept the old donkey on the tracks. Kind of my biggest worry when I started this is that it seems like one of those things you could get all riled up about, get an idea to do it, do a couple episodes, realize it's a bunch of work and a huge pain in the ass, and then quit. And that's not what I wanted, and luckily that's not what's happened. Sometimes there'll be a little interval of a couple weeks here and there, as you know, but that's just the way you should go on Get the Net. Consistency is not our strong point, and that's by design. I feel like if you have to do a forced podcast with a gun to your head every Monday or whatever, you might not feel like talking on a Monday, or maybe you had a rough go, or something like that. So I just kind of want to talk to folks as I feel like talking to them as they become available, and then we put it out there for your ears. So thanks everyone who's subscribed to the YouTube channel and left reviews on Spotify and Apple and everything like that. It goes a long way, and just wanted to give you a shout out for that. Been plenty busy around here. Kind of put ice fishing on the back burner. I went pretty hard at it earlier in the year, as I always do, and pumped out some lube tube videos and had some fun out there. But I've got my sights set right now on this Alabama national qualifier thing that I'm going to near the end of the month. So it's actually a pretty wild trip I've got planned. I'm picking up a 4-wheel camper, truck camper. It's a new sponsor I got this year. And it's basically a truck topper that pops out into a camper. It's a blank canvas inside. I want, room for tackle and everything like that. But I'm picking this thing up in Dallas, and then I'm driving 10 hours east to Eufaula, Alabama, which I've actually been to before. That's where the Open started this year. And got my campsites all picked out and living in my damn truck for like 9 days. So she's a bit of a vision quest. I've got enough, I hope enough kind of off-grid and experience and everything like that I hope I have an idea what to expect. But it's going to be an adventure, to say the least. I don't know anyone in this 250 boat tournament. So it's just it'll be an interesting one. I'll have some lube tube videos fired up for that, but no, just getting the Lund already, getting the 13 rods all spooled up. I actually got my ass kicked at this tournament by a bunch of guys crankbaiting, and I've never caught a bass in tournament competition on a deep diving crankbait. So I'm got these big Meta G crankbait rods all spooled up, and I got to do some fast learning in case that's the program again. But going to be a good trip, and it's nice to have something to focus your sights on. It's such a long winter that breaking it up like this really helps. I get to start thinking about bass fishing again, and put down the ice gear for a little bit. But it should be fun. I'll be videoing along and everything like that. Should be a damn good adventure, if nothing else. I don't know if I'll catch any bass. The top 20 from this qualifier goes to the national championship. And if you top 3 there, you go to the Bassmaster Classic. And actually first place gets a Bassmaster Elite berth. So you make the elites that way. You just need 2 really damn good tournaments. So anything could happen. Like I said, for me, it's more just having the carrot to chase. going regular fishing doesn't really do it for me anymore. I either need to be learning a new technique, trying to put someone else on fish, trying to showcase a product, fishing a competitive event, making a video or something like that. Just going fishing. While I do love it and I do still do it, I just can't do it day in and day out. I need to have a goal and a focus, and this is my focus right now. So I got a bead on that right now, and looking forward to living like a damn hermit for the next 9 days or so. And what else we got before we get Brady on here? Did pick up a couple new sponsors this year. Not going to dredge you with the details. Me just telling you about a product, it can help, but wait till I get a little bit more experience, and I'll be able to share that experience with you and through videos and everything. One of the sponsors, Rapala Crush City, I used all last year. And, I know enough about it to know that I like it and I want to fish with it. I've been with Z-Man forever. They've been great to me. I absolutely love that company. I wouldn't have been able to, go fishing on the opens last year without them. And this is the hardest part of the industry is when you come to tough decisions like this. And, I did lose sleep over it, and I talked to their pro staff guy and the president and, lots, because we talk. It's, and luckily, not much love lost. It doesn't sound like on either end. And, I wish them all the best. They have great products. I've been trying to tell everyone as much as I can about them, since the first blue bags were on the shelves around here. So, but gonna be fishing with Crush City now, the Crush Crew, I think they're calling it. Just like I said, it's easy to get stagnant in the fishing world, and I like to have a new thing to chase. So I've been helping with a little bit of bait selection here for the Canada division. I fish with it lots, and if you know me, I won't just jump on board with anyone if I don't think they're fish catchers, good products, and good people behind them. So keep an eye out for a little bit from the Crush City crew, and I'll probably do a couple videos and show you the few of the new products they got cooking. That's about it on this front. So let's get into our guest here.
BT Fishing is a northern-born, small-town tackle brand. Focusing on innovating rather than imitating, BT has left a mark on all levels of competitive fishing, from walleye tournaments all the way to the Bassmaster Classic. The full BT lineup is comprised of innovative tackle, carefully crafted using the highest quality components. Check out the Smeltinator jig, Elite Marabou jig, Crusher jig, Clack Shot, Clean jig, Smeltinator underspin and more at sportsheadquarters.ca. We ship across Canada and the US. Use promo code GETTHENET for 10% off all products in the BT lineup.
This outdoor content has been brought to you in part by Nordic Point Lodge. Located in northwestern Ontario, Nordic Point Lodge offers some of the finest fishing Canada has to offer. Whether you're looking for a family-friendly getaway or a corporate retreat, Nordic Point Lodge has you covered. They offer a luxury outdoor experience with 5-star service. Check out the description below for more information. If you're out and about this winter, reminder that Nordic Point has gas for sleds, also winterized cabin for lake trout, walleye, crappie back lake trips on the ice. Supposed to be bringing your A game to the big podcast, bud. Not these Bush League headphones you've been beating across Lake Winnipeg all day.
Literally just dug them out of my truck. I'm like, I don't know where these came from, but
yeah, it really showed in their quality. But we're rolling now.
It said Samsung, so okay, we're rolling. Okay, good.
Not a great start, bud, on your end. I'm going to mostly pin this on. But in your defense, he just finished up that ice derby. We've got Brady Kingsland here from Kingsland Outfitting. Needed actually an ice fishing guest, and Brady and I were talking. He was looking at some 13 fishing rods, and was wondering the actions, and we said, well, we may as well turn her into a podcast and see what the hell's going on Big Windy.
Yeah, it was frigid and definitely big windy today. I'll tell you that. Definitely not the best showing on my side for the outfitting side of things, but hey, man, it's fishing.
What's the report on the Derby results?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I think we finished middle of the pack. I think we had our biggest fish was a 24-incher, so that ain't gonna get you anywhere. We had like a 24, a 23, a 23, a 23, and I think our fifth fish was a 19 and a half. I couldn't we were just getting snubbed. It was so bad. Just big fish coming up, just snubbing nothing, and then saugers coming and stealing your bait. And oh yeah, the old beautiful thing of Lake Winnipeg.
So you brought in shore lunch. Who won?
I think Junior Bansel and Michael Rivet. I think they had like 41 pounds. I think they finished. I don't know. I don't even know if the unofficial the results are even out yet. I don't know. We just got off the lake.
Tell LaBupa to quit adding so much mystery into it. Every other tournament, you just see the results. That's a Manitoba thing that they hide them. The Manitoba Bass Anglers Tournament of Champions always hid them for months. And then at the weigh-ins, for any of the Manitoba bass tournaments I've been to, it's not just the same organization. It's all a big secret until it's all done. Drives me frickin' nuts.
I had no clue. I'm looking at it's 3:00 and I'm like, all right, well, we can get a couple 28s here. We're good. We're still okay. And we're on fish. We're doing good. My buddy, that's right beside us, he's just telling me, oh, yeah, we're slamming them. I'm like, great. And not answering them, but, just, how that always happens. And so I'm like, well, it can happen anytime. And then I click on the YouTube feed at 3:00, and I'm like, oh, it's gone. It's just off. So,
yeah.
I couldn't even tell. I didn't know where we were or what we did because, we caught that 24-incher to, call out our 18-incher at about, 3:00. So I wanted to see if it jumped us up to the middle of the pack or to see where we needed, and then it was gone. So I was like, oh, I guess it's a crapshoot at this point. So
yeah, this is easily the best ice fishing tournament format I've ever seen. It's like a frickin' real derby. She's a 2-dayer. It's your 5 best catch, photo, release. There's a bunch of teams. This ain't no show up and pre-drilled holes and win a truck kind of derby. It's like a hardcore fishing tournament. It's badass.
Yeah, I drove across Lake Winnipeg twice today. We put on some miles, and I don't know. This one's only a 1-dayer. They used to be a 2-dayer, but now they changed it just to a 1-day shootout. The championship in March is a 2-dayer though.
Oh, okay. I thought they were all 2-dayers last year.
Yeah, they used to always be 2-dayers, Saturday, Sunday. Because I could always put 1 day together, but I could never put 2. Always, I'd always finish top 5. I could never. I think we won once, but yeah, I don't know. Always a bridesmaid.
Oh well, I'll be keeping a close eye on that. I was thinking about going last year. I almost went, but.
Yeah.
I found some excuse not to drive to Lake Winnipeg in January. Go freeze my ass off
dude, minus 40 today with the wind chill. I want you want to run and gun. You want to go out there and snipe like we do, right? Drill holes and just snipe fish. And we tried it for 40 minutes today, and your Livescope poles are just frozen and they don't even turn. All your lines froze. Nothing's working. It's just all right, let's go back in the shack. There's no point. Even if a fish bites, you can't even feel it. So it's just all right.
Do you have to book this weekend from guiding, or did you double dip?
I kind of double dipped. I had guys in the ice
weasel.
castle. Yeah, I had guys in the ice castle last night, and then I just got one of my employees to just kind of say goodbye to them today at noon, and so I kind of double dipped, kind of paid its way,
Attaboy. That's the way to do her.
Oh yeah.
And she wasn't too much of a donation to the champs, eh?
No, not at all. It's a point race, so we got some points. I'm sure we probably got if we finished 15th or so, I probably got like 85 points or something. So
15th. Yeah. It's a 3 derby point race.
yeah.
There's lots of guys that like are always in the top 5, hey? Like Chase Stooner and Tanner.
Chase and Tanner will be there. Like they didn't even fish it this one because like Chase didn't want to fish it without Tanner because Tanner had work and stuff. But yeah, like those kids, I don't know, man. They work their arses off. It's crazy, man. Like I've watched them drill holes at 359, and it's like the thing stops at 4, and they're drilling holes at 359. It's just like, oh, all right, boys, right on.
Yeah, like last year or the year before, has it been rolling for a couple of years?
Oh yeah, it's been going for like 5. Like James Hebert and them had it going for I think 4 or 5 years before. Then now Eric and them took it over. Right.
Okay. Well, it was a couple of years ago. I had like just a graveyard of Strike Master auger stuff, like old gas ones. You know,
Yeah.
had electrics, and those boys were still running an old gasser, so I had a million parts. And Tanner swung by, and I gave him like some extra handles or something. They just were like wearing these things out.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, everyone's got Livescope but us. They're like, we're just drill the hell out of the place and 2D it.
Oh yeah, like they were.
That's hardcore. That's the derby recipe though, and it just gets amplified when it's minus 30 outside.
No man,
like that's the line.
I honestly, man, like I can't. Like today, I sat in a shack for like 7 hours fishing. I can't do it. Like I hated it. I hated every minute of it. I just like I wanted to be outside running and gunning, and like because like every day we're out like barking orders to our clients, like that hole, this one, run that way. We drill grids, right, and like. So it was totally different, but it was nice. But it was, I mean, it would have been nice if we would have caught a couple 30 inchers, but, you know.
Yeah. I saw a couple of your videos last year where you're barking your clients around. 1 at 50. Yeah, go there, go there. Do they ever just turn around and be like, shut the hell up? Like,
man. Like, my favorite about the whole thing is like when I'm barking, like I'll tell them like, hey, like, I'm not being a dick. Like, I'm just telling you, like, I get urgent. Like, if I see a fish and I like, you stare at those screens long enough, you know when one's like a 30 incher, right? Like, you know what it's like. And like, so like, it's like, okay, that's the real one. And then it drives me crazy. It's like, hey, go there. You've only got like 4 seconds and he's not going to be there anymore. And like, my favorite is they'll reel up slow and they'll be like, all right. And then they like lollygag over there and then they drop in. And I'm like, that fish is in the Red River already, boys. Like that thing is gone. Like,
yeah. And they turn around to you like, why'd you lie to me?
Like there's nothing here. Yeah, and it's like no. Like I try to tell them like it's a quick game. Like I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but that's why I show urgency. Like I'm just like, you gotta go.
Yeah, you're gonna get your steps in. Are you one of those guys that thinks the sonar ping chases them away?
100%. Me and you and Gussie argued over this at the ice show.
You guys are dumbasses for believing that.
I watched it today again.
You just watched a fish swimming away.
15 fish today at 15 feet. It's not ironic that they get to the 15-foot beam and they just stop and they crank her hard right every time.
They might just not like. Maybe they can see the light penetration through the hole, so that's as close as they come. Or like maybe you're making noise, or maybe I don't know 2D flashers or. Maybe just the sight of your lure scares them away.
Well, yeah, but I mean, then you get a 20-incher come flying in. I guess I mean, like there is a side to it where I do believe where it's like these like 28 and 30-inch fish are probably like they've been caught a few times and they've felt that before and they're like, oh, well, that's what that is. I'm out of here. And like these 20-inchers, obviously they haven't really been, so they just come flying in and crush it, right? I guess so. Like there is that, but I said it today. I literally said to my partner, I was like, I'm going to argue with Brucey on this tonight about this. I said, like, because we had it out at the ice show about it.
Because every fish I've caught for the last 3 years have watched bite it. If the ping chased them away, I'd just never catch one again. Plus, I have a perspective on the front of my boat, so it's like a 360 ping. It's like a damn microwave out there.
Right. Yeah.
So by that theory, I'd be the worst angler in the game.
I guess, yeah. I hear you on that. I just
you guys are drinking the Kool-Aid over there.
It's so frustrating, man. You just watch it. It's just like, okay, here they come, and they get to the same point every time, and it's just like gone. Tranker.
You don't think that shit was happening before, and now you can just see it?
Well, 100%. That, yeah, okay. Okay, you made me a believer. All right.
That's it? That's all it took?
Well, I mean, they're valid points.
Don't roll your eyes at me, bub. I'll fist fight you and Chris Gahn over this.
Yeah.
Watch, they'll come out with a study like in 2 weeks, just proving everything I said wrong.
I bet you Aaron Weeb does a video on it. I guarantee you, it'll be the next study.
Yeah, but he's been catching fish on Livescope longer than anyone.
Well, that's what I mean, and he's been doing it forever, right? Like, so yeah, I don't know, he loves the science of everything. I'll tell you that. He loves to break her down.
Yeah, after I watched that crappie video, it was pretty good. I actually talked to a biologist here about it, and he was like, "Yeah, you raised a lot of valid points, especially with the bias, sample taken to Minnesota and everything like that." And so I texted Aaron. I was like, "Hey, jump on the podcast and talk about it."
Yeah,
and he's like, "Only if Gord Piser's there." I was just like, "Beat it, man! Like, this isn't."
That's an Aaron answer for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not dictating who we bring in so you could cyberbully him or whatever. Yeah. So no go there, but we'll be fine.
Well, it was a good video, though. I mean, he did prove some good points.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, if nothing else, at least you showed people how to properly release a crappie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because there's so many people who just Oh man, I won't even get into that.
Yeah, I didn't know about putting them in the water before you turn them. Like, we would always close their mouths, and that's what would get them to swim.
It's like burping them.
Yeah, I started doing it. Frickin' works good.
Yeah.
But we'll have them on here one other time. I'm sure we'll go to war about ice fishing for bass or something like that. I already had Clayton all fired up. I was talking to him the other day over the bass.
Oh, yeah.
Bass ice fishing. You don't got to worry about that on Big Windy, bud.
No, we've got saugers, walleye, the odd northern. Now whitefish are moving in. Those are pretty fun. But all those North Basin whitefish are starting to slide down south, and I don't know. And the odd, that's about it. You get the odd catfish, but not many.
Yeah. How many shacks are you running out there?
I got 3.
Keeps you hopping.
Yeah, oh yeah. If they're all going, man, that is a nonstop gig. Like, there's no breathing. Like, it's just somebody's always got a question or like, hey, this is turning off or this is doing this, and it's like, man. The one guy, my favorite is when they call you and they're like, hey, everything shut off. I don't know what. Like, you must have blew a breaker, and I'm like, is the generator out of gas? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of quiet actually. I'll call you back. And then they call you back and they're like, oh yeah, the generator was out of gas. We're all good.
Yeah, they got a couple George Foreman grills plugged into her, just knocking her down.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's just like, don't let that thing run out of gas, man. Especially when it's minus 40 and like a north wind and it's just howling on her. Like, she doesn't like that. She's got to keep running the whole time or else she ain't going to start again.
Yeah, I got an old 3000 Honda inverter thing, and it's like you damn near have to start it in the garage when it's this cold. And if you run it out of gas, like, pack a lunch. You're pulling the cord while turning the starter for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, like mine, like one of ours just got broken into like 2 days ago. So like I went in there and expecting everything to be gone, but they only took 2 fishing rods. They didn't take anything else. And like the generator was inside, and it's just a 2000 a Honda, so a smaller one. And it's like under 5 feet of snow, so I'm digging it, get it out, and it wouldn't start for the life of me. So I just throw it in my pickup for about like 15 minutes, go out and just start. First pull, she starts. I'm like, just needs a little TLC, that's all. But
2 rods.
2 rods, that's it, man. Like they could have took like the TVs. They could have took there was like 3 100 amp hour lithium batteries in there. Like there was so much stuff, like generator, obviously. I don't know. Like, I don't understand the motive.
Yeah, they didn't have a great like pre-theft briefing. Hey, like, hey, a lithium battery's $1,000, and one of these rods is $40.
Yeah, yeah. Like they took 2 frostbite rods. Like, that's it. Yeah.
Whatever. You got a new deal anyway. That's why we started talking the other day.
100%.
You're a 13 Rapala VMC guy now.
I am. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, man. I was just talking with Peter and Steve Sasaki there at the tournament today. And they were all decked out in all their wrap staff stuff and all their 13 stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to sew those two together to get me one of those things.
No, they got some sizes.
Oh yeah, I was talking to Mark, and he's like, hey, we'll get you some Strike Master bibs and all that stuff, and I'm like, right on, man. Like, I'll make the switch. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. How do you line that up? I always wondered, because like there's a few different ways to like end up on a pro staff. There's like guiding, the influencer route is kind of the heavy one, tournament fishing, guiding, and writing, which no one really does anymore. So when you're a guide, like how do you like pump that out? Like how
I don't know.
That?
Like I just like Peter was telling me about it, and like I was back and forth last year because like doing the collabing with Justin on assorted meats there, right? So like Justin's with Eskimo this year and stuff like that, and then like there's a whole hoopla with Eskimo, and like I don't know, like I'm just not a fan of, I don't know, anyways. But I just was talking with Peter. We did a couple tournaments over the summer, and like he was like, hey, I'll mention it to Mark there and at the ice show, and I guess he did. And then I sent him an email and just said, hey man, like just reached out, just kind of told him what I was like. I met him at the show anyways, but just kind of reiterated it. And then he got back to me and was like, yeah, we'd love to have you. He's like, we'll get you on the guide staff, kind of hybrid. I don't know, because I do the YouTube's kind of stuff now too, I guess. So there's that stuff, all that stuff. So I don't really know what it entails. Like he's like, I'm so fresh to it, right? Like he sent me like the list of everything, and man, like Rapala is like, there's so much stuff, man. Like, well, but like for me to go through that list, I'm gonna need a week, like just to go and pick the stuff. And like you said, like the ice rods, you were telling me the ones that like, because I was like, I want a 42 or higher, but you're like, they only have like the 38s or something, or 40.
No, they make that big 47 wicked.
Oh yeah, 47. Yeah,
that's your guy there.
Yeah, that would be the ticket.
Yeah. No, they got lots of good stuff, and they get rid of the garbage too. Like the filler doesn't just stay forever. You know? It's like cycle through, and literally everything you need in one roof.
Like I said, like I ran Strike Master 2 years before, and then last year we ran those Ion Alphas because, like I said, with Justin, and he had that deal. And like, I'm not shitting on anybody or whatever, but like Lake Winnipeg, you got to be durable out there, man. Like if you're like, we run every day for like 90 days straight, like, and I'm like, the durability of these Strike Master augers, man, is unbelievable. Like I've dropped it off my pickup going 40 and like bouncing around the lake. Oh, forgot about it. Like ran it over, like, you know what I mean? And just pick it up and it drills. And it's just like, oh, like
I got a new Strike Master last year and just like gave it away in a giveaway because my one from 3 years ago is still perfect. And I've literally run it over with my snow machine 3 times.
I know. I remember you saying that. I'm just like, yeah. Well, and it made like, I can't say anything bad about them. Like I don't, like I know Donovan, like Blackwater Cats, he runs them. Matt Cornell, Bruin Outfitting, he runs them. I don't think there's any other outfitter on Lake Winnipeg that runs any other auger.
Yeah, those old gas auger days when I used to guide. Like there was one day where I burned through 3 ice augers. Like 3 separate ones, and after the third one, I was just like, "This is where we're fishing now."
Yeah,
like,
that's
rip a recoil out of one, gas line breaks on the other, and I don't even remember what happened to the last one. I remember running in like a 360 windmill and just yard sailing it across the ice in a fit of rage. Those days are over. The hell else is going on? So I might have said it before you got on, but there's kind of a ice fishing guy quota. So the way you're on the YouTube now, you know how this frickin', I don't know, maybe you don't know how it works, but if I talk in the middle of like ice fishing season, if I talk to, could be Kevin Van Dam on the bass side, YouTube will just be like, no, you're done for a month. Like they'll just shut her down to nothing.
Yeah.
So I've been rolling with ice fishing, mostly guides, and we had Stag, Joe Cooper, and now you. All freaking way more hardcore ice fishing than I ever care to be anymore. And like everyone's kind of shares the same thing. Like, how long have you been guiding for? And like, is it something you love, or are you like, for God's sakes?
I mean, I've been guiding since I was 16. So, I mean, like I'm 35 now. So we're going on like 19 years, right? So, it's been a while. So, I mean, now that like, it's not just guiding for me now, right? Like, it's like now owning the business and owning an outfit, right? And like having Kingsland outfitting is pretty cool to me. So like once I kicked that into gear like 3 years ago, that was pretty sweet, right? So having that in the back pocket and you know, just being able to wear your name on the sweater instead of somebody else's is pretty sweet, you know. And no, I on days where I can sleep in, you don't sleep in. It's just like, I don't know, you know, it's just and like now that we've got the ice castles, especially that new one we got, man, like that thing is it's a palace. There's 2 king size beds. Like there's just like, it's insane. Like the thing's huge. So like I live on the ice the whole time. Like right after this, I'm going to go out and I just sleep on the ice like every night, every day until the weather's going to kick me off. Like,
okay, that answers my question then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is like the goal to get up and comer guides like guiding for you, like running groups for you?
Yeah, and like I've got 3 young fellas that are kind of under my wing. I've got one, like Hunter Diamond there. He's the guy he's my partner in this derby there. He really wanted to do it, so I said, well, let's go. We'll do her. And he's a good, hardworking kid. Like he just like hard to find nowadays, I'll tell you that. But I've gone through a few of them, but this one he caught on quick, and he does things how I want it done. I don't really have to ask him twice, which is awesome. And yeah, he'll be pretty good. He actually, if I don't have any kids, the guy might inherit the whole thing, actually.
That's like 45 years down the road.
Well, I don't know, man.
You got her mapped out. I'm
a pretty big rig. I don't know. It could be any day.
Man, you told me at the ice fishing show you only wear a hoodie all winter.
Yeah, that's all I wear, bud.
So you got to be a frickin' bear out there.
Oh,
Can't be like some 160-pound little Pilates rat.
No, there's no, like, I mean, I'm thinking about all the guys, like the guys that are outfitters and guides out there, like they're pretty burly men, and you know, I mean, yeah, you can't, it's not for the faint of heart. Like you gotta, like, if it's like it's been for the last 3 days, if it's minus 35, minus 40, like you gotta go. Like there's no day off. These guys are coming from wherever, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, wherever they're coming from, right? Like, so they're not going to turn her around. And so you got
that's the full experience if you come from Tennessee and it's like straight minus 40.
Oh yeah. They love it. Especially now that they got the ice castle, that's fine. But like before, when we were doing like running guns and like just pop up hubs and stuff like that. Oh yeah, they were a lot of sit in the truck for a while.
Yeah, but probably the more extreme it is, the better the story is. Like if they came up and if they came up and it was above freezing and like it was like, yeah, it was just warm and lots of ice, they'd have a way better story if they're like, yeah, when you pissed outside, it would freeze before it hit the ground.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what it's like right now outside. Like it's bad. I'm sure it's colder in Ontario too. But.
Yeah. Huh. A lot of these boys don't realize how like you got ice castles now, so it's a little more reasonable. But like on some of the sled trips when it's super cold, like you got your chances of perishing are increased.
There's no like it. You don't think about it, but like after it's done and you come back and you're like, we just drove across that lake. Like, what if, like, it broke down and, like, it's minus 40, and what if this happened? Like, I don't know. Like, a couple years ago, we went up to Athapap for Lakers, and we've just found every piece of slush you could think of, and we got buried in it. We were soaking wet, and, like, everybody else made it back. I got stranded out in the middle of the lake. Like, I was sitting in my tent in 2 feet of water, and I slept in it, like, with, like, just that good thing I had rubber boots on. I was just, like, sitting in a chair with, like, the water, like, touching my, like, tuchus, like, underneath. Like, oh, it was such a joke. But, like, yeah, all these little things you get yourself into, you don't realize it, but it's like, oh yeah, we definitely, that term, like, but did you die? Like, it definitely comes in.
Yeah. Oh man, like probably 15 years ago, I had this little Chevy S10, and on the absolute coldest day of the year, like, probably minus 38 straight temp plus some wind, we drove way down Lake of the Woods, unloaded the sled, and then drove the two up on the sled, like another 20 miles each way to go trout fish, and use so much damn gas when it's like that, that we probably scorched almost the whole tank of gas in the sled, like fan cooled. So you get back to the truck, and it's been sitting there for 10 hours or 12 hours and minus 38, and it won't start because the battery is dead. And the sled didn't have enough gas to go anywhere,
Yeah.
Could have gone maybe 3 or 4 miles, and we were 50 miles from the nearest town or anything. And we're toast. Like, you're just standing up, all you want is a warm truck. You're so cold when you get off the sled. And we ended up grabbing a set of booster cables and just jumped the truck with the sled. That one little, like, and I was lucky. This is a freaking old Scandic. I was lucky it even had a battery for the electric start. Right. I don't even know if it worked, to be honest. And I'm like, if that wasn't here, if you didn't have booster cables, or like, all it takes is one little thing and you're absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, there's so many things where it's just, yeah, like you say, like, you just, like, I sit back and I'm like, that could have been way worse. So we might not have came back. Like, like, yeah, it gets pretty bad. I mean, there's days on, like, last year, like, on Lake Winnipeg, like, man, we got stuck at the mouth. I think it was honestly, like, February 14th, Valentine's Day there, and, like, we were stuck, we were done, and, like, the truck was about to shut off because there was so much hard screaming north wind, and, like, the snow was piling up into my belt of my truck, and, like, we were stuck. Nobody would come get us because nobody could, and, like, it was me and Hunter, and we just, like, I just said to him, like, man, like, we couldn't even look out the window because it looked like Star Wars. We were freaking out, so we just, like, had pillows and stuff, so we shut the blinds, we called it. We put Wolf of Wall Street on the iPad and just kind of took ourselves out of the moment because we were, like, freaking out. Oh yeah, it was haywire, man. Then somebody came, got us in, like, 3 hours, but, like, the truck was wanting to shut off because the belt was just seizing up. Oh man.
Yeah, you got to deal with the wind on Big Windy. I guess they don't call her that for nothing, but, like, I've even seen it on Lake of the Woods where guys will be like, it's minus 25 with a 35 mile an hour wind. All we do is sit in the shack, and you'll be fine. Park the truck in front of the shelter and pop it up, and you'll be fine. And then they walk out, and you can't even see the truck. It's just buried in snow. Yeah. Like, the road's gone.
Oh yeah, the drift game is insane. Like, there's a strategic way to you have to put the ice castles a certain way, or else, like, the tongues will drift up too much. You can't back into it to hook it up, and, like, I found that out the hard way, like, 2 years ago when we first got into it. Like, and then you're shoveling for 4 hours of this rock solid drift snow to get it out. Like, oh man, it's so crazy.
Junk. You signed up for it.
I know. I know. There's so many easier gigs, and it's just like, but it's right in my backyard, so it's all right.
Yeah. You're into you do a little hunting and, like, do some outfitting for that too?
Yeah, we've got, like, actually, I think, like, my outfitting license, I think, is one of, like, not, like, there's only a couple in Manitoba that has almost everything on it that Manitoba has to offer, like, from bear, whitetail, waterfowl, even elk. And what else is there?
You can't guide for turkeys, hey?
I don't think so. I don't even
resident tags only.
Yeah,
I looked at it.
Yeah, it's resident. I haven't even ever done that. I did it when I was when I guided in Arkansas for snow geese. I killed a couple turkeys in Stuttgart there, but like other than that, I didn't really.
How'd you guide in Arkansas?
I was doing snow geese down there for Northern Skies Outfitters. That was when I was on the waterfowl train. I was all over the map, man. That was a 9-month tour, man. You followed the geese from all the way up here, then all the way down to Texas and the Panhandle, and then you came all the way back up and finished her off in the spring.
Yeah, the fowlers are going hard. We had I did a podcast with Fider and one of my travel partners, Brad Leitner, and they were duck hunting last weekend.
Oh yeah,
just like they traveled. I don't know, probably 12 hours for it.
Oh, dude, they go like it's a like I can't even explain it to people. Like trying to explain to people like that Stuttgart, like Arkansas area, man. Like it's the wild, wild west. Like you can't. Like guys will kill you over a bird field, man. Like there is, like no, you've got and like up here you can't pay a landowner to to grease the gears to get permission, but up there, like down there, you can do whatever you want. So like these guys place the price and whatever, and then these guys go and they take sea cans, and they plop them in the ground, and they make all these giant pits where like you can just it's bigger than my house down there, and like. Oh man, the stuff we were hunting out of was crazy. You're cooking a full-on breakfast in a kitchen under the ground, and then you're yelling to the guys, "Can't kill them!" Well, like it's just like there's geese on the ground. It's haywire, man. It's a whole different world down there. But I love it. But
yeah, the boys in the U.S. find a way to make everything bigger.
Yeah,
it influences a lot of the stuff we do up here.
Yeah, like all of our guests always say, everything in Canada. If anything's fun, it's not allowed. That's the way they say it.
Can't have damn flamethrowers.
Yeah, nothing fun.
Yeah. Oh well. The hell else you want to talk about? I've had you here for a while. I bet you it doesn't seem like a while.
No, it seems like we've been talking for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what happens. Is this your first time on a podcast now?
No, I've done a bunch.
Waterfowlers? Winnipeg or like Lake Winnipeg fishing ones?
Yeah, Lake Winnipeg. I did the Weekend Warrior guys. I've done a bunch of hunting ones too, because I was actually into the hunting scene a lot more than the fishing scene when I was younger. Like the hunting, I worked for Jim Shockey for 6 seasons, so I was with that guy. So I was all around the TV crew deal.
What'd you do there?
I did 3 seasons in Vancouver Island for Coastal Black Bear, and then I did 3 seasons in the Yukon for Yukon, Alaska moose and grizzlies and caribou.
Jesus, what was your job?
Guide, wrangler, kind of all the gigs. I was
like a traveling guide.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. You go everywhere. It's.
Oh, so you worked for his guide service, not the film crew, or is it all kind of like entrenched in one?
No, it was for Rogue River like outfitters. So like his outfit name for up in Mayo there in the Yukon, and he does all that. And now I don't know what I think he still runs the Vancouver Island stuff. I'm for sure he will. I don't think he'd ever get away from that, even though he just lost his wife, unfortunately. But so I think he's probably taken a step back a little bit. But yeah,
you must have learned some good shit there,
man. Like, man, the job interview there is like literally I tell all the kids like here, I'm like, literally the first thing was like, he looks at you and he says, gives you an egg in a frying pan, and he's like, cook me this egg. And I'm like, okay. And like, good thing my buddy told me about it, because like my buddy got me the job, and like he's like, yeah, you better know how to cook an egg without feet. And I'm like, what the hell are feet? And it's like those crispy like bits on the edge of the egg. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you got to fold her in quick.
Yeah, you can't have that. Like he axes people right there if you can't cook an egg. If you have feet, he axes you right there.
That's mint.
I knew right there just to put the old lid on her for about 5 seconds and call her a day.
So you serve him up a nice eggs over easy, and he just hits you with the Shockey brand right on the chest, Yellowstone style.
Throws the old brand on the chest and calls you Rick. Yeah.
Patches you in. Man, that's freaking crazy. You've been on a wild ride then.
Man, I've done everything, and then I did 3 seasons working for the TV show Ice Road Truckers. Man, like I said, if I go out, I've done some pretty cool stuff.
What'd you do for those guys?
I was a chase truck driver, so like I drove the camera guys like right like like the scenes where they drove like I don't know, they get the side views of the trucks and stuff like that. Like I'd be driving like half in the ditch, like, and there's a camera guy hanging out the window, and
that's why you drive like such a carny on Lake Winnipeg.
Honestly, that's where it comes from, man. Yeah, because like those vehicles were like insured for $5 million, and like they didn't care. And yeah, man, we went to so many places. Like I remember I lived in Pickle Lake, Ontario for like then half the winter up there because like we just kept going up to like I don't know, I can't remember all the other places. We drove like I'm in Guinness Book of World Records. We drove all the way to Hudson Bay, man. Like it was a 14-day trip, 7 days there, 7 days back.
No shit.
Yeah.
How much of that? I mean, I haven't seen that show in forever. I watched it a little bit. How much of the like? Do you have an NDA or can you talk about it?
No, I can talk about it.
How much of it is like bullshit where they're like, all right, we need to make some like something scary in this episode? Like that must happen all the time.
So like I get this all the time. Like everybody's like, oh, that show's like, it's so staged. And like it is to a point. Like you got to make things happen. I get it because like, I mean, you could only film people driving on winter roads. Like there's really nothing. I mean, but like, so I say like, we do the driving though, like it is long hauls, like they do the driving, but like in the I think it's season 8, it was like my second last season, like Lisa falls through the ice and yeah, like I cut that hole in the ice with a chainsaw.
And like, you're sure you can talk about this?
Oh yeah. I don't like I don't think Mr. Sammy Yamada from California is going to care, really. The show's discontinued. It's canceled, man. Like, I didn't sign no papers.
Yeah, because it'd just be like Ice Road Truckers. It's dangerous. The first and last episode.
Yeah,
the rest is just frozen.
Yeah. And, like, man, like, the guys get off the, like, they hired me mainly, honestly, to, like, keep people alive because they knew, like, I had, like, just from, like, my guiding background and stuff like that. Like they didn't really care about me driving, but like you get all these guys from California showing up, man, and like they would like get off the plane, you go pick them up at the airport, and like they're in shorts, and you're like, buddy, it's -40. Like we're not going up to like up to the Hudson Bay in shorts, bud. You better go get some bibs and get some boots and
like you're going 8 hours north of where the hardest Canadians live that don't even go there. Yeah.
And then like you mentioned, like you had to sleep in the truck, so like I had to sleep like this, sitting up in the driver's seat, right? Like so then they had like there was enough room in the Tahoes, that's what we drove. So like they got to lay down the seats and they'd have a little air mattress, so the 2 camera guys would lay in the back. And then the director would sleep in the spare bed in the cockpit of the truck. And then so I would just sleep like this, like just upright. So like that's why I can sleep anywhere now. Like I can sleep in my truck in 2 seconds anywhere. Like all my buddies are always like, how can you just like shut her down in the truck? And I'm like, well, I did it for so long. Like it's just like elk season, I'll just sleep in the bush in my truck. I'll just go and just sit there and I'll leave the window open so I can hear him bugle all night, and there you go.
That's a little bit different than my truck experience, truck sleeping experience. I figure I did 33 nights this year in the truck, like on the road, and I would pull into a Lowe's parking lot and try not to get robbed on the interstate.
Well, that's a little bit different. That's a little bit different survival.
Yeah, there was some bugling, but it wasn't no damn elk. Friends of the road.
Yeah, way of the road. Yeah, absolutely. Ladies of the evening coming out for sure.
Oh well, man, like a hotel in the U.S., everything used to be dirt cheap, and now like you pull over to a Holiday Inn Express, she's $250 a crack, U.S., so that's like $350 Canadian.
Yeah.
for, you only want to sleep for 4 hours or you'll set way behind on your trip. And then that whole time you're just like, every single piece of tackle and fishing equipment and camera equipment and everything that I own is in the truck.
Yeah.
And it's just like, she's a no-go.
Yeah. By the time you haul it in, you're checking out, like, realistically, like.
Oh, yeah. It's a nightmare. And it's even worse if you go to like $100 a night place. Just amplifies it.
That's grease, yeah. Yeah, your best is to go find the like most lit parking lot and just park underneath one of those lights and shut her down for a bit.
Yeah. And then like you just trim her up, brush your teeth with the damn bottle of water, and then like stiff leg over to the gas station because you're always all banged up. Like your back's just fucking melted from sleeping in the truck.
Oh, I can't imagine you lanky bastard. Like I can't, like that must be tough for you to sleep in the front seat of a vehicle, man.
Yeah. It's so bad. I got a truck camper this year. I'm going to pick it up like in 2 weeks just so I can pull over and like hop up. There's a king size bed. There
you go. That's way better. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause the last thing you want to do after breaking your neck live scoping or breaking your back in the waves is sit in a damn truck for 24 hours broken up by 2 hours of sleeping in the front seat of your truck in a parking lot.
Right. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, that's cancel for sure. No way for me. Yeah.
Ice Road Truckers, Jim Shockey. What other cool shit did you do?
I think that pretty much omits it. I mean, like I've guided in like Peace River, Alberta for a while. Like I was never home. Like I was always gone away guiding. So like, but yeah, other than that, I don't know. That pretty much sums it up. I've had a good go. Like I said, now it's cool. Like that's where I've kind of like taken a lot of my like learning and like my outfitting styles and stuff like that. Like because like everybody always says I do things a little different than most, which is good in my opinion. But like I kind of I was kind of taught by one of the best in the business. Realistically, like I seen him do it every day and seen how he treated his clients, and they're not just clients. He tries to like literally like make a relationship with them so they come back, right? Like, and that's try to kind of like what I try to instill into Kingsland Outfitting, and it seems to be working. I mean, like we're gaining some serious traction here. Might just be the fact that we've got some real bougie ice castles out there now, but I mean,
that don't hurt things.
Yeah. But I don't know, that spring walleye bite, man, that's our biggest seller. That spring walleye bite at Hecla that's a time out there, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you can kind of, like I said, watching your videos and you're barking around, you can tell you're not like the kind of guy that just drills 4 holes and kicks back and is, because lots of guides are just good at bullshit. Some of the best guides I know are terrible anglers. They're just really good at talking. And they'll spin up so many stories in a day that like
kills all.
And like I was never good at that, and I would always just focus on the straight fishing part. And if that doesn't line up, then you're screwed. And lots of people just don't want to go that hard,
right?
But if you got someone driving to Lake Winnipeg, they probably want to go pretty hard.
But you kind of got to read the room, right? I've just honestly instilled like at the start of the trip, I'll just ask them now, like what I tell them all the time is like, I'm not going to bark or I'm not going to tell you guys what we're doing. I'm going to give you options and you guys can pick. You guys paid for this trip. So like, I'm going to we'll start in a spot in the morning. Say we start in 8 feet of water and we're doing all right. We're catching some fish. And then I've got, say, Hunter out scouting and I got Mike over here scouting and like a couple other guys scouting. So then I'll like hear back from them. And then I'll say like, hey, we can move over here. The guys are getting some fish over here. There's a good chance you guys will get some big ones on this area. Or if you guys want and you guys are content, we can stay here too. It's up to you guys. Like, I don't care, right? To where a lot of people would just be like, okay, pack her up. Let's go. We're moving, right? In my opinion, like, they paid for the trip. Like, if they don't want to move, man, yeah, I don't care. Then we don't move. Like, I'll just present them with the options and there we go.
Yeah, I want to sit here and eat bratwurst.
Yeah, broths are a huge thing.
I know.
Yeah.
That's like ice fishing currency, bud.
Literally, yeah.
The boys reach for the Coleman stove before they grab the flasher or anything like that.
That's so true.
That's the first thing in the truck.
That, or they come up with those like pre-made boxes of like those breakfast sandwiches, and they just like
terrible Jimmy Dean's.
That's exactly. They're so bad, but they hand them to you like, here you go, bud, and you're like, right on. I'll go eat this one in the old truck.
Yeah, those are the ones. The best way to describe those is you don't know where the English muffin ends and the egg starts.
100%. They're just the same. Everything's the same.
They're just sog-dogged all the way through. I've ended up with a couple boxes of those in my freezer. Just, guys heading back over the border and just leave you whatever.
Yeah.
Like throw you a box of food. And like the peasant I am, I'll obviously take those home, and I could not make my way through those Jimmy Dean boxes.
No.
They were absolute filth.
They're like, and like I'm on a streak here where like I think it's because like especially the guys who like the groups that book the ice castle, like they just bring them, and like my freezer is full of those things right now because like, oh, we'll just leave them with you, man. We don't want to take them back, and it's like, right on, cool. Sweet. So like now it's just use them as hockey pucks on the outdoor rinks.
Yeah, see if Pike will eat them on a tip up or something like that. There's got to be a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I've had you for a bit. Thanks for the stories. That was good. I love hearing that shit. I got so many more questions, but I can't keep this thing going forever. I gotta let you get back to it. You're going right to the ice castle right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get some more jerry cans. I got about 15 jerry cans to fill up, and then I'll drop them all off. I'll drop like five at each. That should keep them at bay for 3 or 4 days, and then tomorrow will be propane day. And it's a never-ending cycle, man. But it's also pretty good though. It's not bad. I like the ice castle. I like the ice castle guiding better than the run and gun guiding. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, a little more cush.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell everyone where to find you. I'm sure you're plenty booked, but let us know anyway.
Oh, like I said, we've got 3 of them. So like, especially with the addition of that new one, the new one's not booked up because we just got it. So like the new one, like the bougie hotel, we call it, because it's just so pretty. Yeah, she's definitely got some space to be booked up. So if you guys want to get in there,
sweet,
bring your friends.
We'll link you below. Brady Kingsland on Instagram, or Kingsland Outfitters. You got 2.
I got 2 of them
up there.
Yeah, I don't know, because I had my personal one right for so long, and then I got a business, and I was just like, well, I guess we'll have to do both, and then so yeah, I don't know, just Kingsland Outfitting's fine, that's fine, or whatever. I do both. I mean, I go both ways.
All right, we'll drop her below, bud. You're a recent YouTuber too, so we'll drop a link to your YouLube. Yeah,
I think I hit over 600, and like I'm over 600 subs already. There's 600 people that like my stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, keep her rolling. Once you get over 1,000, you start getting a little bit of beer money.
Yeah, all right. It's on the agenda. Maybe we'll get there in 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
Oh, come on, bud. All right. Well, thanks again, man. I'll link all your stuff below, and talk to you soon.
And you get your ass up here and come catch some greens.
Yeah, I'm waiting for like April. Oh no, it's closing April. I'm waiting for the end of March. 2nd. Okay. I'll see you March 30th then.
Sounds good, buddy.
Getting soft my old age here. All right. Perfect. Cheers, pal.
Take her easy, bud.
Thanks, man.